So, do you guys think that alien in the moment exists out there?
So, in my opinion, aliens might be existing, but they are too shy to meet the fellow humans, thinking humans would be too dumb to understand them. Or maybe humans would try to capture the aliens and try to understand how their brains work and where they came from, basically interrogating the aliens. What do you think?
So I don't think that might be the case. Species so technologically advanced will not even fear humans if they had the power to come up till you. Because the universe which we see might be small, but we already know that it's large enough for any nearby, for any planet with species on it to just come up to us. Okay. The thing with this is the Fermi paradox. Have you guys heard about it?
I have no idea, but
The Fermi paradox is basically why aliens have not met us or why we have not communicated or we have not received any message from aliens. We are in a very small part of the Milky Way galaxy. Like there are billions of solar systems out there, with billions and billions of planets out there, and then there are billions of galaxies also out. So there's a very high probability of any species, of at least one super intelligent species to be out. So why haven't we made contact?
don't you think if they were like super intelligent species, they would have technologies like wormhole
Yeah. So
traveling?
why haven't we contacted them yet, or why haven't they contacted us yet?
Maybe they would have if we were intelligent enough, or maybe they have met their
One
extinction.
Yes, that's one answer to the Fermi paradox. So there are different filters, which we call the great filters, which does not allow a species to go ahead. Like the extinction events which happened with Earth, we have crossed many of it, but there will be a level which we cannot cross. That is what this answer of the Fermi paradox is. So there are different levels of civilizations also. Like if we had to put a number, it would be 0.73. The first level of civilization is where we can harness all the powers of our staying planet, which means volcanoes, tornadoes, cyclones, the sea. We have not reached there yet. Therefore, it is between 0 and 1, which is 0.73. And it is said that within a century we could reach the first level. The second level of civilization is where you can harness the power of your sun. So this is a very great, big thing. Harnessing the power of the sun means collecting all of the energy from the sun and then using it for yourself. Have you guys heard about the Dyson sphere?
No, tell me.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
right.
so for those who don't know
I
about the
have.
Dyson sphere, it is basically where if you had to use a calculator, you would have solar panels. If the whole Earth wanted to use solar energy, they would just use solar panels all over the Earth. But the sun sends energy in all directions, right? So this is an idea where such solar panels just cover the whole sun, collect all of the energy, every ounce of energy with the sun, and then somehow bring it back to Earth. Say long wires, nanofibers, whatever. And level 3 civilization is where you go outside your solar system and start conquering different planets.
One of the other theories with Fermi paradox is maybe they are too far away for any contact. Maybe they're over 1,50,000 light years away and they cannot travel faster than light, so maybe they cannot reach us ever. Yeah, or maybe we are the
Yes, yes,
first
right.
ones and we'll be extinct before there are any others.
Yes, that is also another solution for the Fermi paradox, that we are the first one. But that's too hard to believe because we don't even know what outside there is in the universe.
Or we are being observed without our own knowledge, the zoo hypothesis.
Yes, right. That is pretty possible.
So as you guys are talking about the Dyson sphere and light speed travel, don't you think this would require a huge amount of computational power? And wouldn't it be possible to have a computer like that and create an actual simulation of the real world that we live in?
Yes, perfect. This gives rise to the simulation argument, which means that are you living in a simulation created by
So you're saying
another
we are all
species?
AI?
Not AI, but this is just a theory. Like, I'll give you a possible scenario. So, say there is one species. Now, this all comes because we have already grown so much in virtualization, in computing with AI, that even the games we play right now, even virtual reality technologies, even say PUBG or GTA, we are able to create open world games and places, and it's already rising at a remarkable level. So, what if this technological improvement keeps growing, wouldn't it be possible to replicate every single neuron of the brain, create a consciousness, and then call it a simulated world for a person?
To
Thank
do
you.
such a complex simulation would be a very tough task for any human, or maybe God is doing this.
This argument in the first place comes to rise because we are already capable of making such movies, such games, and the rate of growth is too high. Imagine we just don't cease to die off and we keep growing, we keep advancing. There would come a point where we can replicate, say, even of not all of the brain, we can at least
But
come
this
close to it.
kind of seems a very far-fetched task, because seeing as much as we understand about our brain today, how would we able to make a complete human and create such huge societies to live in and even observe that? It's just very crazy.
Yeah. So for these, say you are a character, I'm a character. For us characters to believe that we are in such a real world, we'll just have to make sure that the things we are interacting with is solid. So say you can look into a room and it's 100 meters far off and you can look all over it. The character does not have to know what's outside it at the current moment because all the computing has to be done in the room itself. So at the same point, every character does not have to process the whole universe around it. It is just the parts he can see, he can interact with. And if we could create a computer with the energy of the Dyson sphere, why couldn't it be possible?
Wouldn't that be just need an insane amount of computational power to create a universe that is so enormous?
You don't need to. That's the point. Maybe that's the limit into the programming. Maybe we. That's why we cannot travel at the speed of light because they don't want us to go outside the observable universe. That all that can be processed. That's not all that has been programmed.
The thing is that
It,
I want to add, if we are living in a simulation and our consciousness is simulated, so why are we having thoughts like that? We are living in some simulation. Wouldn't the species that is controlling the simulation suppress the idea of that and not let it out in open?
Yeah, so this was the same arguments, a loop version that a species created a species smart enough to create a simulation of other species smart enough to create a simulation of species that is smart enough to create a simulation of species that is smart enough to create
Hmm.
a simulation. So this is a loop. So there is a possibility that billions of such simulations are there. So why do you think that you are the first one to create the simulation? You might just be a simulation of a simulation which has been created by a
So,
simulation.
are you saying that maybe we are controlled by someone who is handling the simulation? Or is it all technical? Because all the conscious thoughts would not be controlled by one person or an organization. It would be all random, right?
Yeah, it's just like an AI system we use right now. Consciousness is something which the character is free to think whatever he can. It's just the interacting part that is being processed in real time.